What are your favorite apps that you use every day? What are your favorite e-commerce websites, especially during the coronavirus lockdown? Do you realize how the apps and the websites keep evolving? How you update an app and now it looks different? Do you know who is behind this? Who keeps changing your experience as an app user? It's the brilliant mind of a UX designer. Today, I have Rohit Rao with me, who is not only a UX designer, but also a photographer, DIY artist, acrylic and watercolor artist, and also a mentor to many. He calls himself a design freak. What really caught my attention was when I read, "It's like I'm being paid for my hobbies professionally." I was so intrigued to know more about you, Rohit. Welcome to Conversations with Career Guide. Um,
Uh, Thanks a lot, Apurva. Well, I don't know what to say, but yes, you've done quite some research in digging down what all I've written and all. It's so nice to hear that. Yes, but quote unquote, not actually a photographer. I'm a hobby photographer.
okay.
I just do photography when I have free time and all, but nothing professional about it. Yes, in there was a time where I did take up photography, but then yes, the art took over that more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nicholas Sparks, in his book, The Notebook, wrote, "The first time you fall in love, it changes you forever. And no matter how hard you try, that feeling just never goes away." I read that your first love is designing. So, tell us about that.
More than designing, I actually have to also look back at my family. So my family is also into a lot of art, like my uncles and my aunties. They're all into arts and craft and DIY. So maybe I've picked
Okay.
there. I was really bad at studies though. I was a complete failure. I did my 10th twice though. And my first love, or why I started even drawing at the first place, was I follow Batman a lot. Batman is like my I don't know what to call him, but yeah. So my first drawings ever were about the Batman logo and Batman and all. So it started from there, and then from there somehow the drawing caught me in a way, or maybe because of my genes, it just came. It happened, and all my school life I used to score everything good on crafts as a subject. That is the only subject in my entire schooling history I got 100 out of 100. Otherwise everything was below 50, below 40 out of 100. So it started there, as the history goes, and then I'm also very lucky to have parents who understood that no, he's not going to do good in studies, he's going to take a career path of design. And to me it was like a dream come true. Always I used to dream also, saying that what if I had school that could only encourage drawing. There's nothing but colors and drawings and brushes, that's all. And then suddenly one day my dad comes and tell me, you know what, you're joining this college. It's Venkateswara College of Fine Arts, and that's about it. I was like, okay, what does this college do? And then it's arts college. Does that really exist? I was shocked. Then that is how I came to design as my mainstream. That was a 5 years diploma course. I did it in Hyderabad here, Venkateswara College of Fine Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts. I took the applied art stream. So I'm a 2004 pass out, and since then I've been in the design industry. I started out in print. I did a very little bit of video editing and all of that also, and then after that I'm all into UX design. So that is my journey of design. That's where I am.
Okay. Wow. That is true. Not everybody knows that there are art colleges and like you can choose a subject as an art. Like even I didn't know that it existed, but that is great.
Yeah, at least for that time we didn't know. Now there are there are design schools
Yeah.
rather than art colleges. So I'm from a oldie this one, saying that art college, not a design school.
Okay. Uh, wow. Great. Uh, what inspired you to walk this career path other than studies like weekend studies or interest in art? UX designing is very different.
Uh, okay, this is a little tricky. I don't know how best to answer it. Let me collect my thoughts though. Why did I choose this path? Because to give a very simple answer, I was not interested in studies. Even today, when I look at my daughter who's studying, and when I see parents who are back of marks, but no, why did you get 95? Why could you get 97? I look back at my life saying I was a failure in studies, but still I'm doing well now. So how has studies shaped me, except for the SSC certificate,
Right.
right? So that is also something. Maybe now I'm thinking like that, but even that time I was never interested in studies, in nothing. My mind always used to like colors, painting, sketching and all. So it just happened. I never asked for it, but it happened, just like, the almighty just granted, you know what, you'll only do this, you'll only be good at this, do this. That is how it came. Maybe that is how I can relate it.
Okay.
And yeah, one more thing is I keep observing a lot, as in even I somehow catch people's mannerisms very fast. So that also helps me in observing small details that, calculates a lot in design. Also, it transforms a lot in design. A design somewhere, if it is very attention to detail, small things to be given focus to, and all of that, it the whole design enhances, the aesthetics comes alive. So I guess all of this mix, that's about it. Yeah.
Okay. Um, so, what failures did you experience and how did you overcome those?
Yeah. Failure. Actually, I have a very big learning from a failure. Uh, Actually, couple of them. One was where I failed my 10th, and then I had to give a re-exam and join college halfway. Failure, I don't know what I learned from that, but then today I know that it didn't matter to me. Though it was so serious at that time, it didn't matter. And that is how today I tell all children or whoever I meet, I have cousins and all small people, or even my daughter, it's okay if you fail, don't worry, don't cry. No, that is what I tell. That was one learning which I know how it feels. Second big learning, actually, this is a turning point of my career also. I worked for a company called Creative Network in Bangalore. This is way back 2005. And that was a print agency. And in print, anything that goes wrong, and after you get the prints, you can't correct it. You don't have control Z in print.
Uh,
If it's printed wrong, it's wrong, gone, your money is down the drain. And I had designed a pamphlet, and I had to go get the prints and all. Proof check was done, and I came back with, I don't know, 400, 500 copies of the pamphlets maybe. And then I realized that I had put in the phone number wrong. And way back in 2005, pamphlets, phone numbers, that was one media where social media was not all that so much. And then I gathered all my strength. I went to my boss and I said, "Sir, I have something to say. I've made a mistake and I'm sorry about it." He said, "What happened?" Like, the phone number is wrong. It's printed. And then I was ready to get fired. My ears were all, heated, and it was red. He looked at me and he said, "Oh, is it? Don't worry. Print out the actual number in the same font size. Go back, get a print on a sticker, come back and start sticking on it, and then we'll send it off." And I was there for about 5 seconds. He looked at me again. He said, "Go and do it." And I was like, "That's it? Yeah, what else? Anything else you wanted to say?" I said, "No, that's it." He said, "Go, do it." Then I went back. Then I went and did whatever had to be done. And then I got the prints and I started sticking. It was around 6 p.m. Then my boss came and he said, "Okay, I'm leaving." Then he looked at me. He was saying someone else, "Okay, dude, I'm leaving now." He looked at me and he said, "Bro, it's a really sticky job, right?" He said. I said, "Yes, sir." And I said, "Hope you've learned something." That was a aha moment for me, saying that there was some person who was willing to show that patience and that perseverance, saying that you don't have to get angry if there's a mistake. You learn from it. And how do you learn from it? If the other person gives you the chance to learn and to realize the mistake. That is when I started building a lot of patience in me. Now, even today, because of whatever I am, I keep hearing this from many people also, saying that you have a lot of patience. And I think I go back to those times wherein patience is what that moment defined me for the whole life. That was second. The third one was I was in a different company where I was working, and my boss was he was a real taskmaster. He wanted things to be done right on time, right on spot, estimates, your timing, your billing hours, everything had to be on time. And I used to get forced upon it so bad that I didn't know what to do after a couple of months. I was like so pressurized, and it was in a bad way that I learned. But then because of that, today I have positive outcomes. And I used to go on. I used to keep on failing with the time. I never used to get time to complete the work on time, or I used to miss deadlines and all. But the way my boss pushed me then, though it was not the right way to do, but the way he pushed me then today gives me a lot of good outcomes. And I'm really proud about two, three things about myself and my work is I carry a lot of patience. I don't miss deadlines. I'm very sure about my deadlines. And I pay close attention to details, all because of these three incidences. These are my failures, and this is what I've got out of it.
Wow, this is amazing. And that is true. Patience is really required, especially in today's world. Um, I was reading that you're being paid for your hobbies, like professionally. So, how do you find the time? Like everybody keeps saying that we are so busy in our work. Now, how do you find the time? Like, I've been looking at your paintings you're doing with your daughter, and you're doing them like you keep posting them. They're amazing. So, with all this work, how do you find the time for your hobbies, and how important is it to keep doing your hobbies?
So my wife is usually pissed with me when I tell her this. Whenever there's Teachers' Day, I thank two people, just two people.
Alright.
One is my boss, Creative Network, that boss who I just spoke, and the second teacher is time. These two are the people who I thank, for the Teachers' Day. Time to me is very essential. Where in today's world they say India time, where in US time 6 is 6, India time 6 is 7 or 7:30. We keep hearing that. For me, 6 is 6. So I somehow have built this inside me, maybe because of the other boss who pushed me towards timelines and everything. I cannot handle it if there's a time delay. And for me, every time, I also recently spoke about this, that even if I have to be lazy, I'll plan on being lazy on a weekend. If I want to, do something, I will plan on that and do. So if I think that I need to paint, I need to go analog, I need to move off system. Saturdays and Sundays are that. I find time. So binge watching can be done in the night. Movies can be done in the breaks also. But then when you know how to plan with time, saying that from morning when you get up, how much time you're spending to have your coffee, to go get yourself freshed up, then sit in front of the laptop, work on this time, have your lunch breaks, close up by 6 o'clock. After 6 o'clock, what you do? You have now, at least in this COVID times, after 6, what do you have to do? There's no travel time. I use the travel time to do some mandala, do some painting, you know, do something productive that can put me off screen. When I'm going to bed around 10 o'clock in the night, maybe half an hour of some series ka ek show, one episode is enough to finish a day, get up at 6. It's about it. And yeah, so thankfully my daughter is also catching up on all this. So whenever I sit for painting, she also comes, say, Papa, can I sit with you? Can I also do? I said yes. She sits with me. Then we do it. So it's nice. It's nice bonding. And if you know how to segregate your time and all, you're sorted. And yes, because for me, drawing is natural, art is natural. And then when I love this so much in doing designs, and then someone is saying, hey, come, you do this design, I'll pay you. What else do you want? It's like a hobby that you're getting paid for. And I don't get tired designing, because if I'm not designing on system, I go do my drawings or paintings. That,
Wow. This is like, that is the biggest learning for me because I am a very procrastinator. I just, yeah. So,
Yes, procrastinating I don't do. So again, this will actually there's a little controversial. Even if I procrastinate, I will plan for it.
yeah. This is so amazing. Uh, Last question.
Yeah.
The advices that you would like to give to the young design enthusiasts of today?
Yes. So one thing is, please have a lot of patience. Give yourself time. Make as many mistakes as you can. Please go there, do your mistakes, and learn from them. Okay. Don't get bogged down just because someone is telling you that you're not good at something, or you have to do it in this one or that one. There are so many design books out there, so many UX books out there. Everyone have their own way of saying things. See which appeals to you and take that path forward. Just don't say that this is not my cup of tea. Go try it, fail, and then see if you can really go ahead or not. No, just don't. Without giving a try, please do not say that you can't do it, and have the patience and the time to go and do it before you can say no.
Thank you. Thank you so much.